Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Chaos Within podcast.
Featuring John and his thinking cap, so hopefully it works.
It's going to be awesome today. We got lots of thoughts floating around in this noggin. Let's start with Daredevil.
Ooh, good start. I think you should give your opinion first.
Okay. So my first question to you is, did you watch the original Daredevil series?
Like WB original?
Like Netflix, the original Daredevil series.
No.
Okay. So for me, myself, for John, the smarter of the two here. Okay. You ain't saying nothing. Good.
I was gonna let you ride with it. I was like, you know what? If he wants to be smart, John, that's his prerogative.
For me, I enjoyed it. This carries a lot of it carries over, or it appears to carry over from the original seasons, that the first 3 seasons that happened on Netflix. So in terms of tone and everything that's set there, especially within the first 2 episodes, there will be spoilers. Spoiler warning now in effect.
Yes. So maybe what we can do is this. If you don't want to see any spoilers about this show, go to the timestamp that's going to be somewhere in this area next to where my fingers are. That will save you.
What she said. So, first episode, I enjoyed where it went. I liked how it started. I was kind of upset that Foggy got shot, and
I didn't have any emotional attachments, so I was like, that guy died. Oh no.
That leads to, like, that whole dynamic there leads to, like, one of the things I don't like about this so far, but it's only 2 episodes in, so I'm not really going to complain about it yet. But I enjoyed it. Just seems to carry over from where we left off. I know a lot of story points is kind of questionable about what is going on now in this world, because it's just, we transition from Netflix to Disney, but it seems like a lot of the stuff that happened in Netflix is carrying over, but not all of it, because there are still some things that's kind of hazy, at least for me, of what happened between now and then, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Episode 2 I definitely enjoyed. I enjoy this camera shot that they do when they zone in on him using his hearing. It's a whole new thing, and it's very cool when they do it. It's like a panoramic shot in a way, and it just expands but zooms in at the same time. It's a lot of amazing stuff going on here. That Disney budget. And in terms of story, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't have no complaints. For me, if I have just first 2 episodes, it's like a solid 8 out of 10 for me. Before I go into complaints, I'll let you talk.
Okay. So for me, I did not realize this was a continuation from something else. So I came into these episodes fresh, and I was like, what the hell is happening here? I have no idea. So now I know I need to go back and watch those things, which,
Let me clarify the continuation, because it is, so there's the original series that happened on Netflix. That series was always, to most of us, it happens in the MCU, but the only thing that's the only of the relationship between the movies and the show, it's only the show referencing stuff that's going on in the movies, not the movies talking about what happens in these shows. So they do like talk about, because that came out around the time of the first Avengers, so they do like it happened. There's stuff that says that it happened, but outside of like that first Avengers series, it doesn't really go any further than that of acknowledging it. So when I say as a continuation, it's like a loose continuation. It's like they do stuff now that acknowledges that it existed, but it's not like they directly say, this happened, but it's like they haven't really clarified what it is. But yes,
but context is helpful, I think, for me, especially because, like, I probably mention it all the time here. My ADHD makes it really hard for me to kind of put together pieces sometimes, and missing huge chunks of context for me, it was rough. So I think if you watch these episodes and you were just as confused as I was, you should probably go back and watch what happened on Netflix, like I'm gonna do, so I can be a little bit more informed. Other than that, I thought, like, the first episode for me was like a little because I was like confused. I didn't really know what was going on. I feel like the second episode gave me a little bit more context. So I was like, okay, now I'm starting to understand it. And I really like the way that the second episode ended, because those dudes really thought that they were going to run in there and kill that guy, and they ran into the lawyer instead, and then they thought that they were going to kill him instead, and then he broke that dude's arm in such a way that I felt it. And I was like, and you know what the funniest part about all this is? They can't tell anybody because they were at the key witness's house when they weren't supposed to be there without a warrant. So who are they going to complain to? They can't be like, this guy beat the brakes off us. They can't do anything. You were doing dirty cop stuff, and now you got dirty cop broken arms and legs and heads. And that gave me some gratification, because they really thought it was going to be that easy. And he was like, no, actually, no.
Dude said, I'm blind. I can't see. He was like, all right. Stomach punch. Like, oh, damn.
Yep.
He's like,
and he wasn't even going to fight them back until they tried to kill him. And he's like, don't do this. Mm-hmm. And now it's like that don't do this was like really not don't kill me. It was don't make me flip the switch back on and beat your ass. Mm-hmm. But they made him. So now he is reactivated, and his friend is going to be interesting. So we'll see if we can get him out of jail soon. And it's going to be an interesting ride. So I think if I can go back and get some context, that would be helpful. I feel like for a show like this, where you need some context to understand what's happening in the beginning, like I feel like I'm going to slide into like my one con. I feel like that context should be covered in some way. Let it be like a brief cutscene in the middle of like, this is what happened, and now we're here. So that I can understand. Maybe like a quick flashback. Like, why did he randomly get shot? I don't understand. It's confusing for me. I don't like not knowing things like that, especially starting the first episode with like big old questions and potholes. So,
see, even me with that context, I'm confused.
Oh, well,
like if we talk about just like that whole beginning scene.
Yeah, it's like, why did he get shot? Why was he trying to kill the other lady?
And I don't like that it wasn't really acknowledged after that.
Also, how did that guy get thrown off that very tall roof and just?
All right. So yeah, that's something that happened. Okay. So, I mean,
I was like, oh, that guy's dead. I was like, oh no, he's not.
And that's like one of those things that you said you need the context.
Yeah.
But it's like in the first, so after he died, I kind of felt like, so did he not go looking for why this happened? Like that's, maybe it's going to get answered in the next couple episodes, but it just felt like weird. That's your best friend who died, and it was just like you just moved on. You didn't try to go find out who did it, or they didn't at least tell us that he was trying to go find out who did it. I did like appreciate when he had that sit down with Wilson Fisk. He basically said, which is something that happened in the previous series, of there was an agreement that happened between them that he wasn't going to do anything because Daredevil had dirt on his wife. So when he said that, I uphold.
So he was protecting his wife from that.
Yeah. So he said,
I'm trying to figure out why she was gone. Like, you just don't see her at all.
Well,
until the end when they're like at the therapist.
So here's real world stuff. This series got reshot. So this was supposed to be a whole different thing, and this happened in a time with Marvel when they kind of just reined everything in and said, hey, we need to focus on quality, not quantity. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the I think maybe the second show where they just pulled it back and did a whole bunch of reshoots to bring, and that's what brought it back in line with what the original series did. Because originally this was supposed to be just a whole new Daredevil series with the same characters, but then Kevin Feige got involved and said, hey, now we need to, let's acknowledge what we did, because everybody loves the original Daredevil series, and let's just, maybe not all of it, we're not keeping all of the story, but that's at least bring some of it forward and keep it in line with what it was. And that's why I said there's a little bit of confusion for me in what we're actually bringing forward, because it's definitely not all of it, but there's things that happen.
But it's like, enough of it that there's questions.
Yeah, pretty much. So overall, like I enjoyed what we got for the first 2 episodes. I can't wait to see what's going forward. To me, it's one of the better Disney Plus shows that's happened in a while. I haven't really been enjoying a lot of them lately. So
it's always shocking to see a Disney show where people are getting beat down the way that they were in that show. Like he was killing people left and right, and I was like, okay, Disney.
And let me tell you, I am so happy they kept that in, because that was just a thing in the first series. Like I know you haven't seen the first series, but there is this one shot that they do it happens once per season, but in the very first season, there is like a whole fight that's at least maybe like 6-7 minutes long, and it's all done in one take. Him fighting a whole bunch of people is an amazing thing, and they kind of did that in the first episode when he was fighting Bullseye. So I'm happy they chose to keep like that violence in it, not really stray too far away from it, because that's what helped make that series. And
what's Hell's Kitchen? Hell's Kitchen is no joke.
For you, you said that you want to go catch up. I'm just pre-warning you. That's 3 seasons plus a side series called The Defenders, and then because other characters may or may not make an appearance, that's also 3 separate shows. So
I might get the Cliff Notes. I'm gonna need a YouTube summary video, please.
I respect that. So
I don't have the time. I
had to give you a pre-warning on that.
I appreciate that. You know me so well. It took me like 2 months to finish Cyberpunk. So,
but you did it, right? You did it.
I did.
Pat on the back. You did it.
No. Now you can't attack me for not finishing it anymore.
I mean, we only 2 episodes into Daredevil. Let's see where we go from here. So,
yeah. I guess. I don't know. I feel like I can stick with it. It always helps when Rick is watching something with me, because he'll be like, "Hey, let's watch it," and I'll be like, "Okay," like I'll watch it with him. But when I'm watching things by myself, with the very limited amount of time that I have available to do things, my brain can't sit and watch. It's too hard. I viewed this as like a homework assignment. I was like, I got to do this homework so I could be ready for the podcast, and I was like, cool, like. So I had to watch it, and I did.
Well, if I gotta be honest, I had a whole episode ready to go out just on this alone, me by myself. So she's gonna come clean about it. I was like, she's not gonna watch it. Just got this ready to go.
I didn't.
Listen, I did. I just need to see if you got a reaction to it.
No, that's the thing. I am powered by either, needing to get something complete for a purpose or spite. That's why I finished Edge Runners. Spite. So, there's that.
For spite.
Spite purposes. Lore, unlock, achieve. Boop, boop.
So, moving on. This was a topic I have for you that you don't know about. So, here's the topic. By the time we record the next episode, Assassin's Creed will be out. Probably for 2-3 days by the time the next episode comes out. So I think now would be the perfect time to ask you, prior to Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out, any final thoughts, final opinions, anything you're looking forward to that we haven't mentioned yet?
So I did see that we did get an update about the length of the game, which I will say I'm fairly excited. It's going to be 80 hours for you if you are a completionist, which I am. I like doing everything in those games, so I'm very excited about it. The last gameplay that I saw, I'm really excited about. The parkour on Naue looks freaking fantastic. It is beautiful. I saw the freaking epic kick that Yasuke did. Like, he kicked a dude through a door, and the way it shattered was like, the physics behind that was so beautiful. So I'm actually really excited to see what they're bringing forward. And I'm hoping that, this isn't a case of we showed you the good parts and everything else sucks. Because I'm being real, Assassin's Creed has let me down in the past, and it sucks to say that, but they have. But I'm ready.
You finally admitted that.
I'm ready. Sure. I feel like I've admitted it before in other contexts. We just haven't really gone deep on Assassin's Creed here, because our Assassin's Creed episode is in the vault as a pilot where we were testing this out to see if this would work. So, maybe one day if this page blows up, and I feel like it'd be a good time to like listen, if you guys want to see that episode, you want to see the pilot that no one ever saw aside from like maybe a handful of people close to us, let us know. If we get enough interest, maybe we can throw it out there. We'll edit it up, make it look a little nicer, make it happen. Maybe that'll be like a super special achievement for hitting something. But like overall, I'm actually very excited about it. I am going to be doing a 24-hour stream on release day. That should be enough to get me through at least half of the game.
March 20th?
March 20th, yeah. That's Thursday. I took that Thursday and Friday off from work. I'll have the whole weekend, so I'll be doing that 24-hour stream, maybe take Friday to rest, and then get back to it Saturday and Sunday, because I'll be damned if anyone spoils that game for me. I will be mad. So,
what time are you starting your stream?
I don't know, because I still have not decided yet if I'm getting it on my PS5 or if I'm getting it on PC, because by then my mega overpowered PC will be built. So I'm still deciding, because if it's a digital download, it's easy. If I have to go pick up a physical copy, that's different. So more details to come on that.
I feel like this game is going to be a make or break for Ubisoft. So.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is.
I feel like regardless if it's good or bad, this all comes down to how much it sells. So.
Yeah, and with them canceling all the pre-orders when they pushed back the game, I don't know if that was the wisest thing. They should have just left that in the hands of people to decide. But they were changing it, because previously, if you pre-ordered when it was initially going to launch, certain pre-order levels, like package levels, whatever, gave you early access to the game. So I was planning to get the game a few days early and like play it and stream it before it came out officially, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about spoilers as much. But they took that away for some reason. I don't really remember what it was. It might have been like a conflict of interest or something. I don't know. There was somewhere where they were trying to launch the game was like, no, you can't do that. So now I had to get it at the same time as everybody else. Just like, whatever, but okay. It's fine. That's going to be the perfect cap to that week for me, because that's also the week that the biggest part of my project launches for my actual day job. So I'm going to launch that off into the ether and then play my game. And it's going to be beautiful. And then the following weekend, you'll be here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Better not forget.
That's a thing.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
For Assassin's Creed in general, just for me, as I said, I feel like I'm beating a horse right now, but I'm in between on it. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it at launch. I don't know what I'm gonna buy. I'm buying it eventually. It's just not enough. It hasn't done enough for me personally to sway my opinion on it.
I mean, you'll have 24 hours of gameplay for me, so you can make a decision after that.
And the crazy part is, I feel like I'm gonna watch it and not really be budged anyway. That's the crazy part. Like, it's think, like nothing you doing is just like,
yeah.
If it just looks like Assassin's Creed, then it's like, oh, okay, I know what I'm expecting. But if it has some new stuff that's like, oh, I didn't see that, maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not one of those people that's like, how dare you not like this game? Like, I'll say it jokingly, but I wholeheartedly understand that everybody has preferences for the kinds of games they play, whether it be time periods. Like, I know you're very big on like time periods being like not certain ones because you don't like the medieval timey kind of stuff. I know some people that avoid games in space. Some people, like I used to be, avoided scary games or anything remotely scary. Everybody has the stuff they like. Like, I like a little bit of everything, so I'm open to trying a lot of things. And I feel like sometimes when you genre lock yourself, you miss out on some really good things. I know, like, I missed out on a lot of incredible games. The Last of Us is showing me that right now. Like, now I'm playing Last of Us Part 2, and it's something I never would have played for myself before, but, I play it now, and it's really fun. I started playing scarier games, and now it's opened my eyes to more scary games to try. So it's like, don't genre lock yourself. I won't hate you for it, but, like, maybe try something different every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Let someone convince you to try something you wouldn't, because you might be happy and pleasantly surprised. And then that unlocks a whole door of games that are probably deeply discounted now.
This is true.
And brand new games are $70. So if you could roll it back, buy some that have been out for a year, you might be up $20, $30, in this economy.
$10, $5,
yes.
Go on a nice website like Fanatical.
Ooh, go to GameStop. Start digging in bins.
I ain't been there in a while, so I
know I don't go there anymore.
I ain't buy a game from GameStop in a very long time.
There's too many other places you can access games now. It's like, and I feel like GameStop was blaming us for being woke or something for why they weren't getting people through the door. And I was like, no, man, it's like people are just tired of your crap. I don't want to buy a game and you give me 25 cents 2 days later. Like, no, no, you did this to yourself.
Yep. And it's, it's like the what we have now, where most stores just don't even sell physical media anymore in the store. So it's the times we live in. I
know, it's so crazy. Like, so many of my games just live on this little 4 terabyte SSD, and that's where they live.
Just got a little, hard drive somewhere with a whole bunch of games that I'm not going to talk about where they came from. If you know.
Why? Because that's what's in that.
There you go.
That's not just Ninja Turtles. That's a lot of games.
Game preservation is real.
Yeah.
So, moving on. You are playing Monster Hunter World.
I am. I have a lot of opinions about that game, so I'm going to start with the good stuff. The game is beautiful. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. I like that it's fully voiced. So, like, every time you go into a conversation, you don't have to just read everything. Like, the characters are actually talking to you. I love the customization of the armor, of the weapons. I love that I can set up my Palico in adorable outfits. Like, I got my Palico now in the cutest little dress with like a little wig, and there's a flower. And you know what, John? You should pop in the picture. I'm going to get you a better picture of her. She's modeled after my cat Mochi, who's like the princess of the house. So I feel like the fit is like perfect for her. But I love all of that. I love the monster hunts. They're really fun. I will say, though, there are some things that annoy me about this game. One, sometimes when you're doing story missions, it forces you to look around at things. Like, it really, like, it makes it an optional quest. But then it's like, it's locking you into looking in a certain direction. Like, it's forcing you to be like, look at how pretty this game is. Look at it now. And that annoys me because I don't, like, I want to do it because I want to do it, not because you're making me do it. Like, I'm stubborn like that. 2, to get multiplayer to work in this game is so unnecessarily complicated. You can't, like, if you're doing story mode stuff, like, you have to wait until one of you starts the actual battle with the monster, and then you can invite the other person into it. You can't just walk around through story mode together, which is so asinine. Because if you're going to let me fight the monsters of story mode together, why can't we just walk and talk to the same characters in the same space? So honestly, that's so infuriating. Outside of that, like, you can set up squad lobbies, so like you guys are the only ones in the lobby. You can do environment link, you could do link whatever. You can link up, and like, it's easier if you're just doing the one-off quest that Alma gives you to hunt monsters, because you can see each other in the world, and it's just, okay, here we are, like, running through monster stuff. But I think him and I have gotten to the point now where, because it's so complicated to do the story mode stuff together, we're playing that off stream. Because honestly, I don't think anyone's that invested in the story of this game. I think they're more interested in watching the big monster fights anyway. So we're doing that stuff mostly off stream, just so like the frustration of like waiting for one of us to start it and then invite, and then like one of us has to run away from the monster because we of course have to be in the same place. But it takes so long to join the other person in their fight, and if the monster hits you at any point in that, it stops it. Communication error. You gotta start over. So like, it'll be normally he'll invite me and I'll run as far away from the monster as I can and pray that this like 3-minute revolving door of like waiting to move happens. So I think that has left a lot to be desired for me, and it's very frustrating for me to play because of that, because it's a constant cycle of we're linked. We're in like a linked game, but we're not linked because of the story and how it works. We're only linked when it's time for those big monster fights. So it's just like, it's frustrating. Other than that, I feel like if they could fix the whole multiplayer aspect of it and make it like a true co-op campaign experience, I'd be way better off. I would definitely enjoy the game way more, but you know, I'm having fun with it. I like the weapons too. Like I'm running around with dual blades, which I know if you have any Monster Hunter Wild stuff rolling through any of your social media, you've probably seen those videos of like, what your weapon on Monster Hunter Wild says about you. And I saw one and it was about the dual blades. And they're like, what this says about you? And it's like, oh, you don't know how to sit still. And I was like, you son of a bitch. How dare you call me out like this? You're telling me that I have the ADHD weapon because I can't sit down? I need to be constantly moving? But also, I saw another video, it was like, you like the crazy anime fights. And I was like, I feel like that's also probably generally true. So I got the crazy anime fight weapon that doesn't hit that hard, but looks beautiful. So there's that. But yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty good. The other thing that's frustrating too is like you can see monsters in the environment, but you don't get to get the full benefit of fighting them until you fight them in the story mode first. So like you'll come across something, and if it's not something you passed through like the killing the alpha version of in the story mode, you'll get rewards from it, but not as great as you would if you get to that point first. So I feel like that's a little bit irritating because it's like the monster's here, like why can't I just beat it up? But I mean, overall, it's a very good game. It's a very beautiful game. I know they sold the hell out of this game, so I feel like it's going to be around for a while. And Monster Hunter has always been the kind of game where like it's a grind heavy game. You want to unlock all the armors, you want to unlock all the weapons, because each of them gives you like different strengths and weaknesses that you're going to need to fight against different monsters. And that's something that becomes especially important as you start fighting the more legendary stuff, because there's like really crazy stuff that you fight later in the game, probably way after you beat story mode, that is going to be heavily reliant on you having the right weapon to hit it as hard as possible and the right armor to make it hit you as little as possible. So that's my thoughts about Monster Hunter Wild in a nutshell at this point.
I just want you to know, based on everything you said, you turned me away from the game, so
that's okay. I mean, I feel like you didn't put a time frame. If that other episode gets up to like 125 randomly one day, I would be like, all right, John.
I did it. You're right.
It's like, now you got to play it. We don't play it anymore, but now you have to. So
I'm going to play for 5 minutes. I ain't never said how long.
Dang. Wow. That's
I've never been a Monster Hunter person. I tried it one time, and I had this conversation with you off stream of first reason I even tried Monster Hunter is because, you know, everybody who's played games in their life has that group where, you know, you all decide to get a game together and y'all never play it together. So it's the only reason why I even had Monster Hunter. And then I tried it and I was just like, I wasn't getting it. I wasn't really enjoying it. So, you know, then
it's not a solo player kind of game for me, I think. I feel like Monster Hunter is a kind of game that's way more fun if you have somebody to play with. If you're doing it by yourself, it's just frustrating.
Mm-hmm. And I am definitely my rule for buying games is if I can't enjoy it by myself, then I'm most likely not going to buy it at all. Watching you play it looks interesting, but I think I also told you I needed to watch somebody playing it like just way later in the game, because watching you play early, it just wasn't. I'm not grabbing it. Like this just looks. But now then you're seeing somebody way later, like, oh, okay, so this is where you get to. This is where the progression takes you. Now I'm understanding, you know, big monster fights. I'm like, okay, all right, I can see it now, but buying it is still a whole nother discussion.
I'll wear you down.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Okay.
I think me being forced to buy it because of the episodes is more likely the reason I buy it. Oh,
okay. So can you like link that episode somewhere?
It'd be crazy if that episode happened and disappear off of YouTube.
No. I'm about to make like 100 different accounts on YouTube and watch it from each of them simultaneously. I think you can make it happen.
I mean, you could try. You could certainly try. I won't stop you.
It's only like 125. I feel like I could do this. I
I set the bar too low. Damn it.
You might have. And that's going to be on you, you know?
I guess so. Yeah, gotta live with it, right?
You do.
Live and learn. Now, next time I'll say 1,000.
Live and learn. Oh no. Famous last words.
Any other thoughts on Monster Hunter?
No. Like, I think overall, like, honestly, the only thing I'm really critical about is the multiplayer. Although the weapon tree is a little bit confusing too when you're crafting weapons. But, you know, other than that, like, the food, when you're cooking the food, the visuals are so nice. They make vegetables look delicious. Like, I was making straight up vegetarian meals because it was the best stats for my character, and I was like, that actually looks kind of good, but like, I'm a carnivore.
Let me tell you,
so
when that game came out, I just seen all these clips flying through my TikTok of people cooking food, and I'm just like, damn. Whoever was in charge of the game on making food, they got their payday on that one.
Oh yeah. It's coming.
I believe. I think that's all we got. I think that's all we got. So
really?
So now we're moving into D&D territory.
Oh, D&D is fun. I feel like that means I need to do some summoning though, huh?
Yeah, because we don't. This week we got some questions that require a DM, and sadly, you're not a DM yet.
I don't think I'd ever want to. I like playing and throwing chaos into the game instead. That's more my vibe.
Well, since you can't do it and you don't want to do it, you gotta go.
All right. I'll call in a professional. Should I? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I'll just give a snap of my fingers and he'll be here.
Hopefully.
Oh, let's see.
You might accidentally summon a dragon. You never know.
I'll try.
And here we have Rick. Rick is DM in the D&D world. Answering some questions for us today. So
sure.
Let's start with the easy question. What is a DM?
DM is short for Dungeon Master or Game Master. We're the ones who tell the story or narrate the journey that you take. The story really is a general of what you guys decide to do as the players and decisions you make.
Gotcha. So we got a couple questions from the audience, and since you're DM, you're perfect to answer them. Okay. So, first question, 2 questions, but since they go together, we'll do this. Do you come up with campaigns yourself, or do you have something you follow? Then do you make your own changes to it if you're following something?
So Wizards of the Coast, the creators of D&D, they do have books and stories, campaigns that you can, buy and pre-written everything for you. I do write my own short they're called one-shots. So basically it's like a one night 4-hour session. So you create it. It's my own original. So it's a little bit of both. I haven't written an entire story myself like that. I want to eventually create my own world and have my own campaign. But right now I just do shorts. I have ones that I do read that I'm running at home and I do change some things depending on if I don't like it. Currently, I am running Lost Mines of Phandelver for Chaotic and some other friends here at the house, and I did change. I'm going to change who the big bad is. I don't like the current big bad of the game. I don't think he's bad enough. So I'm gonna take a different character that you meet, and I decide I'm gonna twist his story, and I'm gonna make him the bigger bad, and that's just because what I feel. So. But you can do that. So,
I mean, you are the DM, right?
Yeah.
So, last question. How do you keep up with the events in a campaign that lasts for a very long time?
Events in a campaign that lasts a long time. Notes. A notepad or on your laptop, whatever whatever something's happening, you just kind of make notes of everything that's happening, little keynotes here and there. I call it a lot of sticky notes. So that's how I keep up. Also, I mean, sometimes, like I said, you need to refer back to a lot of pages, or if you're on use a laptop, just have a section just for your notes so you can easily refer back to. That's what I do, because sometimes something as simple as an NPC that the players interact with that is not meant to have any kind of backstory. He's just a guy that works selling apple and fruit. One of the players may take an interest, and next thing you know, you have to come up with a story, and now you have this character that you have to kind of give him something because they're so invested in his character. So note taking and just kind of jotting down the side, like, you know, so behind the screen, the DM screen, I'll be sitting there, but what you don't see behind the screen is my hand going writing stuff down for future reference.
So in some campaigns, you're literally coming up with characters on the fly in the middle of the campaign.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So
but,
I gotta.
Yeah. No, it is. It's one of those things. Like I said, because the world is so vast, there are characters pre-written in every story. Like in the pre-written books, you have characters that are there. They have a story. They have a purpose. Sometimes they're meant to send you on a fetch quest, on a side story, or give you a bit of information to help you along the main story. And some characters are just background. But then one of the players will just go and interact with a background character, and next thing you know, you have to come up with a name because they don't have a name. And they're like, well, what do they look like? And you kind of have to, now you sit there like, oh, you know, he has blonde hair and a mustache. You just gotta, and then now you have to remember these things because you're describing this person to them, and later on they may be like, what about that guy that had the blonde hair with the mustache? You know, and you're like, what? That's where the notes come in. They're like, oh yeah. His name was Aiden, and he worked in the farm. So you have to make sure, because it's weird, some of the things that players want to go back to.
Got you. And I got a fun question for you.
Sure.
So you're given an ancient prophecy about your destiny, but it's completely stupid. What does it say?
An ancient prophecy, but it's completely stupid. Okay. So you are destined to create the greatest stew any tavern has ever seen. That's it. Something as stupid as that. And if you want to add a little flavor to it, you can make that a fetch quest for an NPC. Have them find the best herb, and what it does, it gives the stew a property that gives everybody for the next 24 hours an additional 10 hit points, like just temporary hit points. So you can, something is, like I said, it's a stupid prophecy, but you can use it as this guy now has the ability to create a stew that they can go back to, buy it, eat it, drink it, whatever, and now they have just extra hit points. So you can turn it around to benefit, or you can be like, oh, it turns out you picked up the wrong spices that he wanted you to, so everybody take damage instead. So
that's rough.
It depends what happens. Depends what the players do to keep you on point, or they really upset you.
It's so many avenues that you can go, and just like you just said, the wrong spice can make something so positive turn into such a negative. It sounds like.
Yeah, and that's the thing with D&D. You can pretty much do anything. You just put it in.
And one question for the people: how long have you been DMing?
How long have I been DMing? Not too long. I've actually only been DMing for about, I want to say, maybe 2 years. Been playing longer, but I started DMing about 2 years ago, just because the storytelling is kind of fun, and being a lover of like fantasy movies, like Lord of the Rings and things like that. I love anime, and like anime and like those that have such rich lore and story. Those kind of inspire me. Like the movie and anime inspired me to create my own one shots from things I've seen, things I've watched, even comic books. I'm big comic book guy. I grab elements from everything, and I'll create a short story, not necessarily in reference to a particular individual from a comic book or anime, but like a situation or something. They have to retrieve something, or they fall victim to something that I saw in a movie or a comic book or an anime, and I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. But if I twisted it around and it was something like this instead, put it in D&D, makes it a little bit, a little exciting.
Got it. So when that Inuyasha one shot comes, I'm gonna be there.
Oh yeah.
And that is our segment today with Rick. Thanks for coming on, answering some questions.
Thank you for having me.
And now we'll take it back to Sherry.
Hey everybody, I'm back.
There you go. How you doing?
Yes, I was in a really weird place. I don't know where I sent myself when I summoned him. But I'm back.
Was it dark?
Kind of. It's fine.
It feels like one of those "what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas" kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Got it.
We don't need to talk about it.
Got it. Well, that has been another episode of the Chaos Within podcast.
Not that chaotic this time either. I think we actually stayed on track for once, mostly.
I know.
Maybe the thinking cap actually worked. It helped you route your thoughts.
I think so. Kept me on track.
Alas, a miracle is born. All right.
All the chaos that happened in last episode, I think we got it out last week, and then this is like one of those, like, okay, we slowed it down. Then next week something crazy is gonna happen. That's probably what this is right now.
Let's see what the game news is next week. All right, y'all. So from both me and John here at the Chaos Within podcast, I want you guys to go out into the world and embrace that chaos because, life's short. Be chaotic. It's better that way. Bye, everybody.
Peace.